Welcome to Spotlight Santa Monica. I'm Sandy Jacobson. Whether you are shopping downtown or strolling on the beach, you know you're lucky to call Santa Monica home. I'm going to introduce you to the people and departments that help make our city great. We have a fun show for you today featuring city partners that are hard at work making our city a great place to shop, visit, and do business. My first guest today helps keep local businesses thriving in our city. Welcome President of the Chamber of Commerce, Laurel Rosen. Laurel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Sandy. It's great to be here.
You know, I have never been too clear about the work of the Chamber of Commerce. I just sort of had this idea of a bunch of business people sitting around lunch.
Right.
Is that it?
Well, you know, it's the old idea of chambers, first of all, has changed drastically. The first thing people think about is, of course, it's networking, right? You get in a room, you go to a mixer, you eat some chicken wings and shake a few hands. And, you know, that certainly is a part of it, but it has changed so dramatically over the years because it's had to. You know, today you have chambers that have to really look at economic development in their communities. And they're doing that through what you would expect. They're putting out different types of programs and opportunities for businesses to come together, whether it's a speed networking or a networking mixer. But it's also, a lot of it is education, especially in the changing, just in our Santa Monica business demographic here with the new tech industries that are in town. Much of what we do is education, whether it's tech information, whether it's the type of resources they need to navigate the opportunities they have to set up businesses in Santa Monica. You know, there's a lot to be learned. So the businesses come to us. They want to know, you know, everything there is about Santa Monica. So of course we're the ambassadors. People come and ask just about any question you can possibly think of, we get. But also it's really important for our businesses to be well informed, to know what the resources are, to know what who their mentors are, and to be able to get the kind of information they need, whether through direct contact with city government or other leaders in the community. And then last and really important, especially in Santa Monica and of course in California as well, is advocacy. You know, there's many issues that impact our businesses, and especially in the last few years, there's really a growing tide of issues that are really impacting our abilities to do business. Big part of our jobs, being able to first and foremost have that connection with city government, to be able to have our businesses be in front of the people they need to be in front of, to have good conversation, good dialogue, and to come to some solution. And so that's a big part of it.
So how do you interact with the city, actually?
Well, I do a lot of interaction with the city. I'll start with on our event side. We do 32 events and programs a year. Many of them are partnerships. Right now, next week, on Tuesday, on the 22nd, we have the New Hero Celebration. And our partner is the city and education and Education Foundation and all the schools. And we celebrate, and this is one of my favorites, we just celebrate the new teachers, firefighters, and police. We bring them in and we do nothing but thank them and give them some prizes and acknowledge them and put them in front of city leaders and business leaders. And so that's one of our beloved events that we do. And then we do the Buy Local Expo. I sit on the Buy Local Expo committee. You know, and we work with the city and economic development to really get the word out, that it goes beyond our membership. You know, we certainly want our members supporting members, but it goes beyond our membership to support the whole community, to support all the businesses, keep dollars in Santa Monica. So that's a big part of our partnership as well. The Chamber started the Santa Monica Alliance 3 years ago. We had recognized that there were businesses that really needed attention, that needed our help, and that were actually leaving, and we weren't sure why they were going away.
Now, what kind of businesses are you talking about?
Large and small. Large and small. We first recognized the need through some of the larger businesses that are leaving, because it becomes more obvious when you have a really big business leaving town and you're not sure why they're going. We recognize the need for that we need to know why our businesses are coming, if they want to stay, if they're having difficulty staying in our community, and how we can connect them to whatever they need. Some of them just want to meet the chief of police. I've had that experience. Some of them really need to be in front of our city manager. They need to be in front of building and safety. They need to find resources that they may not be aware of when they're first coming into town. And we want them to stay. We want them to be vital. And we don't want to find out after the fact that they're all in Culver City.
Right.
You know, that they all have gone down to Playa Vista, and we don't know why.
Right.
And we
You
haven't
missed
done
a
anything.
chance.
So we've had great success stories. We were very instrumental in helping Agensis be able to find a way to stay here in Santa Monica. You know, this incredible biotech firm on the cutting edge of curing 5 cancers. You know, these are the kind of people that we want to stay. Clean technologies, you know, great employee base, great for economic vitality in the neighborhoods that they represent. So
how were you able to do that? How were you able to make them stay, keep them here?
Meeting with them, seeing what their needs are, what their future looked like, and who they needed to be in front of. And so we were able to bring city manager, we're able to bring whoever. We brought Mayor O'Connor, of course, we brought Rosen when we need city department heads to come and speak to them. Some issues sometimes are very fixable, and it's just getting the people together to really have enough information to know what to do next. And so we've had a lot of success in that way and made people feel supported. And quite frankly, the most important thing that the chamber can do and the city can do when you have this incredible, viable business coming into your community that's going to have this great, wonderful impact on the community is just to say, welcome. We're glad you're here. How can we help you?
So, like, for example, when you say that somebody needs to get in front of the chief of police.
Right.
They can't, if they just call the chief of police, that's not really a proper introduction, is it? If they go with you,
that's right.
Then they don't need more credibility, but they have more access, it would seem.
You know, one of the things the chamber does the best is bringing people together. And we do that a lot. We bring a lot of different people. We have a land use committee where we bring people in and we talk about issues. You know, we have an education committee where we bring people in and talk about education issues. We have an environmental affairs committee where we bring people together. We're doing sustainable quality awards now in the 19th year. We were one of the first cities to really look and focus and partner, another city partnership with the chamber, where we're on the cutting edge of sustainability in our community. And so we're able to bring people in so they can help our businesses become green. You know, we're a green certified business. So what are the opportunities that the chamber has to help enhance whatever that platform is in the community and to support it and to have our members support it as well?
What kind of changes have you made to the way the chamber does business?
Well, one of the things that we've done, which was a very important move, it was 6 years ago. The chamber's relationship with the city wasn't as good as it should have been. And we worked with city government, we worked with Lamont Ewell at that time to repair the relationships with the city. And
he was the city manager.
He was the city manager at the time. And so we made an agreement to really work on that. And, you know, sitting down with Ken Genzer, I sat with a lot of our city leaders at that time and really tried to create a face of the chamber and create some level of dialogue. And so we made these agreements with different city entities that we would be very supportive, that we would help get our business community, you know, out and help the city to inform, because some of the issues with the city is they need to get the information out. They need to have the business community really know what's going on in the community. And so we see ourselves as a conduit for much of that.
In the 30 seconds we have left, what are some of the challenges, or I should say more innovations that the chamber is doing?
Well, you know, it has a lot to do with technology. Today for us. We had our State of the City where we brought in all the top tech companies and recognized that we needed to address their issues. So we're starting different liaisons with some of the larger tech companies. We're having get-togethers with them. We're getting involved in their events. We're having them mentor. And we're bringing that into our social media platforms, and we're bringing it into our educational programs, because we recognize that they really are the future of Santa Monica, and they're coming in droves, and they want to be here, and they're changing the face of Santa Monica.
Thank you so much, Laurel.
You.
Thank you, and for more on what's happening at the Chamber, please visit smchamber.com.
Thank you, Sandy.
Up next, tourism is big business in Santa Monica. Who's welcoming all our visitors? The Convention and Visitors Bureau, next.
Good morning, sunshine.
If he were, he'd tell you, right? You're too healthy to be. He didn't look sick.
What if you weren't safe every time? What if he's sleeping with his ex? What if it broke?
If you are HIV positive, what happens next?
You don't have to live with Mr. Doubt. Common Ground offers free testing and care for HIV and STDs, including hepatitis. Just stop by or call us.
It's time you know.
Experience Highway's Performance Space and Gallery.
I knew my journey would lead me to a place
where I find a highway that I could travel to the beat of my own drum. Ride out the storm, 95 Joey died, but Deadly was born. And there would be no limits to the vibrancy of my performance.
Join us each week at Highway's Performance Space and Gallery and live without limits. Log on to highwaysperformance.org.
My next guest helps spread the word about all our city has to offer to tourists. Please welcome Kim Baker, the Vice President of Marketing for the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Kim, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
How many tourists come into Santa Monica in a year? Any idea?
We do have an idea. The way that we count a visitor is actually someone who's in Santa Monica for business or pleasure, but who is outside of Los Angeles County. So there's no one who lives in LA County is counted as a visitor. And in 2012, we had about 7 million visitors to Santa Monica.
7 million?
Yes.
How can you count them?
We do quarterly visitor intercept studies to kind of track visitor behavior to see where they're going, how long they're staying for, where they're from, how much they're spending in our city. And then we also do a survey of residents to find out if they have visiting friends and relatives. And we also track the visitors based on hotel room stays and nights.
I've never quite understood the function of a visitors bureau.
Sure.
Do people call you and say, where should I have dinner?
We kind of have two functions. So it's the visitor services. So we operate 4 visitor center locations in the city. So visiting friends and relatives of our residents can come in and get itinerary help, learn about all our city has to offer, or find out how to explore Los Angeles. Then we also have the marketing and promotional side of our organization. So we really try and promote Santa Monica as a travel destination further out, so into those international markets, bringing people here from all over the world who will stay in our hotels, spend money in our community, and ultimately benefit the local residents.
I can't imagine that it's very hard. It's a very hard sell to get people to come to Santa Monica. Don't people already? I mean, don't we have great name recognition already?
I think certainly in Southern California we do, and in the United States we do. But the further you go out, people don't really know where the city lines are. They don't know the difference between Santa Monica, Santa Barbara, and Santa Rosa. So sometimes when we talk to potential international visitors, they think, oh, I'll just take a day trip from San Francisco, right? We can go down to Santa Monica, it's an hour, right? So really, it's our job to educate those visitors that when they're coming into Los Angeles, they're coming into Southern California, Santa Monica is the best place to base themselves.
I'll say. I have to agree. But for people who live in Santa Monica, tourism is kind of a double-edged sword, I would think. On the one hand, like you say, they're spending money and everything. Sure. On the other hand, 7 million people in a city of less than 90,000.
Yeah.
So...
Well, I think there's a misunderstanding about car traffic, for one. Hotel visitors in Santa Monica, over 70% of our hotel visitors do not use a car once they've arrived in Santa Monica. Again, we have a lot of visitors who come from other countries, so they are more used to using public transportation. They prefer to walk, and I think Santa Monica is such a walkable destination. There's so many things to discover that are walking distance from our hotels. So they really prefer not to drive. So I think there's that misunderstanding of who's really using the cars here in Santa Monica.
You mentioned that the Visitors Bureau has information centers.
Yes.
Where are they?
So we actually just opened a new location that's beautiful. It's right on Main Street, and it is in the Edgemar Center, so that's a great new location. We also have a cart on the 3rd Street Promenade. We also have a kiosk that's in Palisades Park on Ocean Avenue and Santa Monica Boulevard. And we have a little shop on the Santa Monica Pier called the Pier Shop and Visitor Center. Oh,
and I've seen people on Segways. Segways, is that what they're called? Are they part of that too?
They are the downtown Santa Monica ambassadors.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about them in the next segment. Let's talk about conventions. How many conventions does Santa Monica host every year?
I wouldn't really technically call them conventions, but for example, we have the American Film Market, which is actually coming up in November this year. And that's actually, it's going to be its 23rd year in Santa Monica. It brings about 8,000 attendees from 70 different countries for 7 days of filmmaking deals and networking. So that's a really important and long-term piece of business for Santa Monica.
Well, how about the convention center? How do we ever use it as such?
You know, the Civic Auditorium has been used in the past for various types of events. I know the Academy Awards were
a long time
held
ago.
there, but you know, it's really been more of a community events place.
So we never get political conventions, huh?
No, not yet.
Where do the taxes that tourists pay, where does that money go?
Yeah, so hotel transient occupancy tax in 2012 generated about $39 million into the city's general fund. From the general fund, those tax monies go into schools, they go into police and fire, they go into street improvements, libraries, and plenty of other valuable city services.
What's the top reason people come to Santa Monica? Is it the ocean? It's got to be the biggest one.
I think that's definitely the #1 selling point for Santa Monica, with 2 of our top international markets being the United Kingdom and Australia. I think those are people who are really want to go and experience Southern California, and to be able to walk to the beach and 3rd Street Promenade and have those sunset views, that's really their idea of what Southern California is.
So would you say that's our top visitor market?
The United Kingdom and Australia are our top international.
That's how you put it? That's
Yes.
who comes here the most?
Yes.
I haven't noticed that many Australians walking around.
You got to sit in a hotel lobby, you'll hear some accents.
Okay. Where does the Convention and Visitors Bureau get its funding?
We are funded partially by the City of Santa Monica, and then we're also funded partially by our Tourism Marketing District. It's an assessment from our local hotels on hotel stays.
That's fair,
Yeah.
don't you think? And who governs the Convention and Visitors Bureau?
We have a board that's made up of 11 individuals, one of them being our city manager, and then the others are a mix between local residents and representatives from our restaurants, our attractions, and our local hotels.
So how many people work in the Visitors Bureau?
We have about 14 full-time staff and I think about 10 part-time travel counselors who work in our visitor centers.
So do you have to travel to countries like, I don't know, Bhutan and places like that to get people to come here?
Not yet, but we do participate in a number of international trade shows to raise awareness. So we have our Santa Monica destination booth, and we'll meet with, whether it's conference planners or travel agents and tour operators to make sure that Santa Monica is top of mind as they're booking clients into the destination.
So you would say that overall, tourists are a good thing for Santa Monica, and they don't really impact our quality of life negatively?
We try to promote Santa Monica to those visitors that are going to bring the economic impact without the environmental impact. So that's why international visitors are so important to Santa Monica. We know from research that they stay longer in Santa Monica, they spend more money, and they're more likely to use public transportation and not drive. So that's kind of where our focus is.
Well, then I'll be sure to say welcome the next time I hear someone with an Australian accent.
Thank you. We hope you will.
I will. Thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you.
For more on the CVB, please visit their website, santamonica.com. Up next, it's where you shop and skate in the winter. We are talking to our friends from downtown Santa Monica next.
I thought I had everything under control. Then, one day, something happened. I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know there was help. Until someone told me.
Providing access to justice, the Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles can help with domestic violence issues, eviction defense, government benefits, immigration, and other civil legal issues.
Oh, hi, Rosa.
Is it time for Mama to have our baby?
No, sweetie, it's time for you to get a checkup.
A checkup? Can I go, please?
The services of Women in Children's Hospital are integrated into the new LAC USC Healthcare Network, where superior medical professionals provide clinical research and complete patient care for your community.
Ouch.
Our staff is dedicated to you and your family.
Arts, entertainment, shopping events, farmers markets, so much happens in our city. Joining me now is CEO of Downtown Santa Monica, Kathleen Rawson. Kathleen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Such an important title.
Thank you.
Isn't Downtown Santa Monica what I used to call the Promenade?
Yes, and before that it was called the Santa Monica Mall.
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you?
Yes.
Yes, but really downtown Santa Monica is from Ocean Avenue to 7th Street and Wilshire Boulevard to the Santa Monica Freeway, so the area is quite large.
And did you decide to rebrand it or something? Is that?
Well, several years ago, when we decided that downtown could be a little cleaner and it could be a little friendlier, we created what's called a property-based assessment district. And so all the properties in the area I just described decided to self-assess, and they created a fund of about $3.6 million that pays for enhanced maintenance and enhanced the ambassador services that you see downtown. And that really, that was the reason that we expanded to downtown Santa Monica. But 3rd Street Promenade is our flagship.
Okay. You know, you answered my next question about the annual budget. Are you kind of like a chamber of commerce, would you say?
Well, we do a lot of business relations, certainly. We also have a large number of residents in downtown Santa Monica. We're really a public-private partnership. Our job is to keep the area vital and safe and clean, and it's for the benefit of the residents of Santa Monica and the businesses.
So what are currently the biggest hurdles you guys have to face?
Well, as you've probably heard, that we're going through the Downtown Specific Plan, which is the general plan for the downtown core for the next 20 years. And that creates a lot of conversation in the community. And so it's the long-term planning. Now, circulation and traffic and parking and those types of things are things that are our top priorities. But the good news is that the businesses downtown are thriving. Santa Monica residents use the downtown core as part of their daily activities, and so economically we're in great shape.
Good, good. It's always nice to hear when someone's in economical good shape.
Indeed.
What is Silicon Beach? Just a new expression to me.
Well, it's interesting. About the same time that we created our property-based assessment district, there was a lot of interest in from the tech community in our downtown office space. So we have about 29,000 employees in our downtown core. And many
29,000 who work in Silicon, or just who work
total?
Okay.
So that's the Starbucks person and the executive in a tech company. But a lot of interest from tech companies, and they have created a cell here, mostly in the downtown core, that has been very prosperous. Like-minded people like to be together, and so we have that in terms of our business space, our office space. The other thing they love, of course, are all the restaurants, all the shopping, the great views.
Right.
Right. It's a great place to work.
It is. I have to agree. What's the interim parking program, and will it help?
It did help a little. It is helping. What's happened is that back in the 60s, when we didn't have any customers and we had the old mall, 6 parking structures were created downtown. Those stood empty for years and years and years. But without those parking structures now, the 3rd Street Promenade would have never been successful. Since then, we have several more parking structures, but they're full. And there's a few issues with that. Those 29,000 employees need a place to park. So the interim parking plan was a program that moved the long-term parkers out of those core structures to
where the
places
shoppers come.
To like the Civic Auditorium or the library. And that really freed up about 10% of the availability in the parking structures for guests who want to pop in and out. We also did short-term parking on the lower levels of the structure, so if you're staying 3 hours or less, it's easier for you to find a spot. We've moved almost 1,000 vehicles out of the main area of downtown, and that's been good.
It is good. because, like you say, it's so frustrating to come in. And luckily, we know that if there's the sign up that there's no parking or there's only 2 spots, we know not to come. You mentioned the ambassador program. I want to talk about that and maintenance. Go to the ambassador. Is that the kids on the Segways?
Oh, yes, it is the kids on the Segways.
Oh, okay.
In certain parts of downtown, they patrol the areas on Segways. They provide hospitality, of course, so if somebody has a map and they approach them and say, can I help you find something? But they also are eyes and ears. They help with social surveillance. We have a lockstep relationship with the police department, so if somebody needs help, we are there and we call and we work together to keep downtown safe. And the good news is Santa Monica has a very low crime rate, and that's wonderful. Yeah. But there's always the perception of safety. There's the realities and there's the perception. And we wanted people to feel completely secure, that there was somebody on the street that was sort of minding the shop. That's what the ambassadors do. Plus added this wonderful sense of hospitality. Right. And even locals have had great experiences. If your car dies in one of our downtown parking structures, they'll jump it for you.
Oh, wow.
Right. Or if you work late and you want to walk to your car, we provide that type of service as well. It's really been a good program for downtown.
And what about maintenance?
Well, we spend almost $1.5 million of maintenance above what the city does in downtown. So that's a lot.
That's a lot because the city's doing a lot.
The city does a lot, and we complement the service. So we have an agreement with the city. They do some things, we do other things, but trust me, we have about 100,000 people visit downtown every single day. That's a lot of gum. It's a lot of stickers. It's a lot of graffiti, and that is tended to every day by our maintenance crews, and you can see it.
What does ICE at Santa Monica mean to the community?
If this was a brainchild, we had it it was 7 years ago. Oh, wow. Yeah, because we're building it now. This will be our 7th year. Santa Monica Place was going to be under construction. And so we were concerned in downtown that maybe we didn't have strong enough shopping to attract the holiday visitors. So we decided to build an ice rink. I'm a Minnesota girl. I grew up ice skating. And so it seemed like a novel idea, and we put it up, and it was an instant success. It's at the corner of 5th Street and Arizona. And I have children in 3 Santa Monica schools, and every time I go there, and I go there a lot, there's somebody there I know. It's a great community event.
So currently, and in just a brief period of time, what exciting changes are taking place in Santa Monica right now?
Well, I think the new hotel development that's on the horizon is very interesting to a lot of people, and could be very exciting. We've got new residential coming in downtown. We have almost no vacancy with our retailers, and there's a lot of great things on the horizon.
And that beautiful new park.
Oh, the park is gorgeous, isn't it?
Thank you so much, Kathleen.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
For more information, please visit downtownsm.com. Thank you so much for joining us for Spotlight Santa Monica. Make sure to tune in next time as we introduce you to more people and departments who make our city the place to be. Bye now.